Close enough, the players are here. We may. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being recorded. It is the Warren County Prison Board meeting scheduled today for May 2nd, 2023, 14:30 hours, 2:30 in the afternoon. Any public comments, special presentations? None that we had. Yep, we have a PIMCC review. PIMCC is the acronym, and that is Julia, who is with us now via Zoom or the computer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. The floor is yours, Julia.
I think we did discuss the prison board last time, so I was absent because I was at the prison, so I apologize. I'm the nurse consultant. I actually had come up to you guys' prison last summer to work with your nurse. I'm going to come this summer to work with your new nurse. I'm a nurse consultant with the program, and PIMCC stands for Prison Inmate Medical Cost Containment. And you guys should have gotten copies of the report in the mail. We did plan to be on site last week when it was originally planned, but due to complicated schedule, we couldn't be there present today. Kim did confirm that you guys did get the copies of the report in the mail. So if you would draw attention to you can bypass the agenda and draw attention to the front page, where it gives a breakdown from October 2022 to May, or to March 2023. The county total savings for outpatient, those are the bills that we get, we reprice them back to the county, you guys pay, that was $134,475.54. The county total inpatient savings in this report period was $68,702.88. And when it goes to the hospital and receives inpatient care, a medical assistance application is done for that inpatient hospitalization, and then the provider is able to bill medical assistance like regular, and then the county reimburses medical assistance at a discount rate. So that is the discount savings that you guys had for what was billed. The next two pages are what we provide in our spring meetings. On page 2, you can see it's the 3-year average for all PIMCC counties, which are 16 counties. We came up with a 3-year average of $9.87. Since you guys have been in it since 2022, you guys can see where you guys fare in comparison to, on page 3, you can compare it to the lower left table of 2022 values, and you guys came under the 1046 average cost per inmate per day. You guys were 952. The next page, you can see that is a breakdown of your first total year in the program. You guys had bill reductions of $292,297.56. And you guys, our year to total right now is $170,972.80. Page 5, you can see cost management work. Cost management plus explores both effective options for PIMCC member counties after a contract between our vendor or Ray's Health Psychiatry was not renewed. A list of providers interested in providing these services was emailed to the wardens. Cost Management Plus will continue to work on expanding this list for counties to have options when choosing the providers. In the fall 2022, Cost Management Plus worked with Deputy Warden Tipton to register him with the online COMS application. That's the application to provide get medical assistance for the inmates in patient hospitalization. He was able to get set up, and he is almost up to date on them. He did indicate that there's one I think he has to do, but he's up to date on all the COMS applications. Cost Management Plus discussed with Warren County Prison to, wait, I'm sorry, I did not, wait a second, 1 second. Okay, sorry. Cost Management Plus discussed with Warren County Prison the upcoming potential charges. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, something got messed up with the report. Please ignore that middle thing, something got messed up with it. We actually worked with the county when it came to There's an inmate that is requiring a very, very expensive medication. And we worked with the county and the pharmacy to try to get them to accept the Medicare rate for this medication that this inmate is requiring is for a eye condition, and the medication is over $700,000. I did ask the pharmacy to consider the Medicare rate for this medication, which they did say they would accept, but that medication, it only brought it down by $100,000. So it's still $652,000. So we just kind of worked with getting all that information to where we tipped in to be able to work with the county and the court system when it came to that medication.
You think you could get a new eyeball for that?
Oh, and it's like if you would talk to our pharmacy, there's 2 individuals on this medication. It's for thyroid eye disease. They're on it in the state, and it's 8 to 20 treatments, depending on how bad the Graves' disease changed the eye, and it's upwards of $1 million. No matter what, in Diamond Pharmacy, the pharmacy that you guys, that the medication was becoming wasn't going to be coming from Darling's, it's going to be coming from a infusion, because it's an infusion type of medication, and they're the same price as Diamond Pharmacy. You cannot get this one medication cheap at all,
Did they have
because it goes by your weight. So it's like $320 per kilogram.
They have to liquefy diamonds to make it?
No, Diamond Pharmacy is, probably, I think there's some kind of gold in it, I don't know.
There's gotta be something, I mean, anyway, forget it, I'm just joking with you, so.
This commercial, actually, the woman talks about, she like wears sunglasses and takes each sunglass off and is going to be dealing with bulging eyes, and it just makes her eyes look better, so she decides not to wear glasses anymore. So this is a commercial that has been seen multiple times, but it's very expensive. And I will send you guys an updated page. I apologize, something must have happened within my, I'll send an updated page to the board to correct it, county. In February, our Diamond Pharmacy indicated that Latuda, which is a psych med for bipolar depression, has gone generic. It went generic on March 13th, and that's a huge, huge win. So Darlings would have, if you have inmates that are ordered Latuda, Darlings will be able to order it in generic as opposed to having to order it in name brand, and they will see a cost savings on generic by upwards of 90%. 90%. I don't know what Darling's price is for it, but what Diamond's price was like over $2,000. Now it's $190 for most strengths or less, which is still a little bit of an expensive med, but a lot cheaper than the $2,000+ for 1 month prescription of it. There were 2 compass applications submitted for inpatient hospitalizations, and no case managements were provided during this report period. Oh my gosh, guys, I apologize. I swear I might be having a mini stroke. This is not wrong. That one bullet that I talked about had to do with your guys' nursing. It had to do with something me and Warden had talked about, is that once Title 37 is changed, you guys will not allow non-licensed personnel to pass out medications other than over the counter. So we've just kind of been working with the county to figure out how you guys would cover pill passing once Title 37 is, once it is in place. And we have discussed with your current provider, we've discussed the avenues of hiring them as county employees, and so forth, and we'll continue to work with the county on that. I apologize, I read that wrong, that was my fault. It's been one of those days, so please stick with me. What my report, it doesn't make sense, I apologize. Okay, we can move on to page 6. This is other physician services. These are any out of the prison doctor's appointments, or any individuals who have gone into the hospital and seen physicians via ER or anything like that. These are any of those bills, and you guys can see that you guys saved $23,082.81. cents. And you can draw attention to the other category on reasons why they were denied. You see there's a $12 charge and a $149 charge for two different providers because it came on a patient statement and we can't do anything with that. So we request out for the proper paperwork, which is the UB4 or 1500 form. And if they choose to not give it, we won't reprice it because it doesn't come, when it comes on a patient statement, it does not come with any codes that we can put into the system for repricing. So you guys may have to pay that eventually if we get proper paperwork, but if not, then you guys won't have to pay on that either. On page 7, you can see hospital charges. This is outpatient, ER, and lab. You guys saved $102,110.66. Dental, what was billed was allowed, and vision, what was billed, we were able to reprice for a savings of $1,598.20. Page 8, you guys will see with radiology, you guys saved $6,680.76. And this was for all radiology services that were either done at the prison or that were done out in the hospital setting. Pharmacy, what was billed is what was allowed. Ambulance services, you guys saved $1,003.09 for one ALS and one BLS transport. Medical supply, we didn't receive any bills from medical supply, doesn't mean that the order doesn't receive any. If it comes from the pharmacy, we don't get pharmacy bills, so. Page 9, you will see, this was your inpatient summary, so you guys can see that $81,754.49 was billed to DHS. DHS paid $14,932.94 of those bills, and the county reimbursed DHS $7,167.83. And this goes through January. We are going to, if the county has any inpatient training, that will be updating the county through March, sometime this week. And that concludes all that I have. Again, I apologize for getting mixed up. I had the fact that I helped the county with that med on my brain, forgetting that we did work with you guys on the nursing component as well. No update. I know that one part has an individual that he knows that sits on this act, that sits on the Title 37 board. There is no update on when it will be done for the DOC, but I think they said to expect it around 2024. So it gives the county a bit of time to work on how you guys plan to staff your pill lines or your pill passes to ensure that a licensed individual is doing that. So that's all I have for the county. Is there any questions or concerns?
I have a question. This is Denny. Do you find over time, do any of the suppliers, are they reluctant to take the patients because of the reduction in the bills?
I am so sorry, it cut out a little bit. Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you find that the suppliers are reluctant to take the patients after the bills have been reduced over a period of time?
No, because in fact, for most providers have a, the status of, we want to not protect and serve, but to treat. They want to treat patients. And so no, like UPMC has had all their bills reduced for years and years and years since Act 22 came into place back in 2011. And they have taken inmate after inmate after inmate. I don't see any change. My son had surgery last week and there was a DOC inmate right next to him. And it was a UPMC facility. I know that you guys, I don't know when it comes to Warren County Hospital, like Warden Hospital, because they're not with one of the, I don't think they're owned by any conglomerate like UPMC, but I know with the big ones, we don't have any issues with physicians seeing patients. A lot of times it's something different where like you have to come at the end of the day or the beginning of the day just because of the status of it being an inmate, needing the handcuffs. But because of Act 22, no, because if you think about it, that inmate more than likely would only have medical assistance anyway. And so they'd be going and only getting that from that inmate anyway. So it's not like most of them, like because of Act 22, if they have private insurance like a Blue Cross Blue Shield or a non-HMO Medicaid or Medicare, that can still be billed. And so the provider would still get from that insurance. But most of the inmates that go in, that are incarcerated, have either Medicare or Medicaid, and that's what we're paying. That's what the county and or the state is paying back to providers. So they're not technically losing a lot of money because again, they're getting paid either from the county, the Medicare rate, or they're getting paid for medical assistance, the Medicaid rate that they would get if the individual came in with that insurance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Julia? All right, thank you for your report.
Thank you. You guys have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Any discussion about PIMCC now that Julie's gone? All right. If you look at page 2 and 3 of your packets, that's the minutes of the meeting.
I motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
You've heard the motion, all in favor, give their consent, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Minutes are accepted. Finance report.
The finances are, the budget to actuals are in line with being, for the first quarter, being 1/4 of the way into the year. The only thing that I'm seeing consistently across departments is office supplies are over budget. And Warden Bar did point out to me that I had made an error in the original budget, and I have since fixed that. In equipment and supplies, I had 5,200 instead of 52,000.
Any questions on finance report? Make a motion to accept the finance report.
Make a motion to accept the finance report.
Second.
All in favor of the finance report, give your consent, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, so ordered. Any old business hanging? New business. Capital items.
Just got the warden's report.
Yep, med pass, control room doors. Sure.
Which one do you want to do?
I just thought that was gonna bleed into the new item, but go ahead.
it really,
Yeah.
but if you want to,
I thought that would kind of reach back. We're fine. Warden's report.
okay, everybody received a copy of the bi-monthly report. Touch base on some of the things on there. A lot of the numbers are staying pretty even across the board. Our average daily population, knock on wood, is still staying lower than what we were used to seeing, so that's a good thing. Following through on what I said one of my goals were, is to up the training for the staff. You guys can see on the last page, we've done quite a bit of hands-on training, and I'd like to continue doing that. This month we have 4 staff members of Academy, 3 COs are there for the month. One of our counselors is there for 2 weeks. We have quite a few officers we have to get through within a year of being full-time, being compliant with the state. So I actually think your county's going to have another academy in July, so every county's in the same boat we are after COVID. Everything being shut down, everybody's still bottlenecked up, and we're trying to get everybody through. So we have a lot of other trainings planned. Anybody have any questions on it?
How many on a flight line to go to the academy? Give or take.
Not counting the ones that are in here now. Yeah.
So it would definitely behoove it, another July academy.
Oh, yeah, I was speaking with my Coleman in Erie County, and he said that they were in the same, they could probably have an academy with just their staff alone, but their turnover rate is, that they're down 30-some officers, so they're really getting people through it up there, so getting into academy shouldn't be an issue for us.
Gotcha.
Any other?
Any other questions for the warden's report? All right, you just want to carry that into the new business?
Absolutely. I see on the capital items, Commissioner Kaplan wanted to bring up a couple different topics. Med pass. You were with me.
I am here, by the way, and obviously my pass isn't a capital item.
That's right, I was referring to as new business, so.
Yeah. I mean, I see it's on there, I just,
Sure.
probably not the right place.
Commissioner, what would you like to, what was your question on the med pass?
It was simply this, that it seems like a major liability, and, having stopped in a few times to the jail, seems like it's a major concern to the staff, and so I'd like to look into options of how we could get out from under the staff being the ones responsible for doing that. I'm not sure if that's something that we would talk to Darlings about, or Peter, or maybe even hire someone internal, but just something I'd like to put on the radar is something I think we should research more. Like, do other counties do that county training with politics, and, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, we,
So this is less about me asking you for an answer today and more of just say, let's put this on the agenda, going forward, because we need to find a solution, I think.
okay, absolutely. That's something, once we had our inspection last year, and we were told from the state that 2024 is what they were looking to change Title 37, and to be in compliance, corrections officers would no longer be allowed to hand out medications unless they were certified as a med tech. So they all have to take a training on that. I've talked to a lot of other counties as to what they're doing. Some of the bigger counties that have 24/7 nursing or medical, that's not an issue for them because they have somebody there at all times to do med pass. There are several counties in the same boat as us of what are we going to do. So we're continuing. Deputy Warden Tipton's here too. He's also in contact with other counties of what they're doing, and we're all trying to brainstorm together, come up with ideas.
Because it's gonna have to, from my perspective, it's gonna have to be positioned, because like Lonnie said pretty emphatically that he's not gonna do it, and then Darlings isn't really set up to distribute medication in the jail, so it's gonna have to be some type of either contract agency, or we're gonna have to hire somebody or have somebody trained in the facility to do it.
Right.
So I mean, I think we need to know what that looks like.
There's a lot of pros and cons to it. If we were to hire a contractor to come in, that's quite expensive. But then again, the time that it saves on the staff, because right now we have so many medications that our staff is taking them almost 2 hours on each floor to get
Well,
med passes done.
I mean, that's the thing is it's a pretty complex building, you have to make your way through the whole thing, and then 80% of the staff, the inmates are on something.
Yeah.
So and how often do you have to distribute it? Like
4 times a day.
Do you have bubble packs for the inmates?
Yeah. And we've looked at doing the bubble packages, the pop ones,
Yeah.
not like the packages. We've thought about doing that, but it's almost impossible as quick as you can change meds for different things. It's necessary. It would be a pain for to rip it and dump it, but then they have to change meds to a different delivery and work different med altogether. So as quick as that was an option, it wasn't an option.
Yeah, if I could interject real quick, I think it was at least my understanding, if not other people on the prison board as well, that when we moved to the bubble pack, what that meant was the pharmacy was essentially giving you a pack for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times a day with the meds in it. So all you have to do is basically bust open the blister pack and give it to the inmate. And that is not the case at all. They're still giving you know, if someone has 15 different meds, you're still getting 15 different blister packs, which, in my opinion, is not much better.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way, and that has been my entire career there, that's what we call a bubble pack, is a blister pack, where, you know,
It's all the same medication
if
for
it's on
30
time on
days.
one card, yeah, there's 30 days in that card, and every, you
Yeah.
know, each med has its own card. Now, if you wanna talk about
So
like.
1A, 1B, 1C.
Yeah, now if you wanted to talk about having one, like say Ziploc bag of meds, not Ziploc, would be a sealed bag of all their medication, that's what's almost impossible, because if you might have it set for the 30 days, and then every week, medications are changing, so we gotta go and figure out which bill's what, and.
Take the blue one out, put a green one in.
Right.
I mean, for lack of.
Yeah, so you're back in the same position. But anyway, I just thought that would be worth bringing up because it was definitely a misunderstanding of mine. Now I guess I really see why people are so concerned about, you know, what they're dealing with.
I had the same belief as you, Commissioner, that it was like that, we'll just say Darlings gives you a box with a roll in there and you tear your vitamins off every day and it has the two green, a beige, and a yellow, and you just swallow them for the daily dose. That's how I
Yeah,
have
that's what I thought, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how Darlings would even put that.
Okay, well,
Impossible. They'd have that big whole
Warden,
warehouse.
I guess you'll,
Yeah, we'll continue to research that, or
Anybody wants to stop over and see what it looks like, you're more than welcome.
So what, Rusty, so your other counties, your references, are there any all-stars out there that are, got it down to a science?
The ones that have 24/7 medical, they have a pretty, I mean, it's right there, you know, but, all the other ones that do not have 24/7 medical are in the same boat as us, as they're trying to find, is there a magic company out there that you can hire to come and just do MedPass, you know? And someone mentioned that probably contract with the hospital, you know, maybe we'll send the nurse over to MedPass time. These are all things we can talk about.
Did you talk to the Pinnacle folks about it? Like, what was their perspective on it?
Julia, you can talk a little more about
She
that.
didn't really have a,
She basically said it's a problem for everybody in the state, and good luck, you know, so.
they have,
Well, I have to assume all the small counties are like us, like where they're just, they were handed them out and, you know. I will say that in the discussions at CCAP, like every major lawsuit that they cited had to do something with medication mismanagement, so even aside from, just this mandate from the state, like, or from a liability standpoint, we should try to come up with something that has more oversight.
And I was thinking, back to, we'll just say Commissioner Catherine's thought, hypothetically, you have, while your nurse is here, we'll just say you pay her an extra hour, and I'm just throwing this out there, an extra hour, and she creates the Ziploc bag for number 771. So she goes, okay, he needs 2 beige, a green, and a tan, and we'll just say creates the Ziploc or bubble pack that our guys give to 771 or whatever the number, you know what I mean? To have a medical personnel so that we'll just say your guy, I'm assuming doesn't know what green, blue, blah, blah, blah. But then medically, we can be as assured as we could that it is the correct mixture, you know what I mean?
I think the way Julia explained it was, even that would not be allowed by correctional staff.
Okay.
Because
the
we're
correctional
not,
staff
we're
is
not
not
permitted to, yes,
and-
right, we're not
and-
permitted
Yeah,
to
then
dispense
that's
it.
saying they're certified in med tech or.
To actually say, here is, because we're all ultimately.
Yeah, like right now, how it is, if they receive a training from a medical provider on how to dispense meds, they're covered, but after that, it won't be.
She had said that one of the counties was looking at doing, like, you know, how the in-home healthcare comes in for people, like, counties have tried contracting with them, or something like that.
Well, that's what, yeah, Darling has it in home, so
Yeah.
again, maybe 2 hours a day they come in and dispense, just something to dig deeper into, I guess. Any other discussion on the med pass? Mr. Catherine, anything else on the med pass?
no, thank you.
Control room, doors, controls?
Going off of that, last year, IT came to us and said that our buttons in control, there are 2-way switch buttons, push unlock, main doors coming jail, not like the ISO cells or cell blocks. He said that it's very outdated and it's going to turn into a hazard and need to be replaced. It wasn't an emergency at the time. So we looked into different options of what we could do. Reached out to the company that did our locking mechanisms on the floors for the cells. They got back with us with a quote, and I actually, Lisa and I just received the quote today, and they are involved with CoStar.
Yep.
So, and the quote came back at, what was it, $25,600.
Yep.
And this,
Oh, that long?
yeah. In this project, if anybody wants to see it, to come over and look behind the control, it's a mess. It's wired for years and years and years and years, and they don't even know what wire goes to what anymore. So I don't, if Bill doesn't know, I surely don't know. So,
And just to make sure, this go ahead, Commissioner Sanders.
Well, I was just gonna say one more quick thing about that, is that's great, Warden, and, I think we should move forward on that. I think with, let's look a little bit broader too, there's like old low band radio stuff in there from, you know, the 80s and stuff that's not been used in 20 years. You know, just rat nests of wired stuff, it just needs to be cleaned up. So I also talked to Bill about it, and definitely agreed that, you know, there's a lot to do there. Maybe now that he has more staff availability, he'll be able to handle some of it in-house, but I guess I'm just saying, control is definitely the number one priority, but I think we ought to do a little bit broader of a look as to how we can, clear out space there, central fire hazard.
yeah.
That's kind of where I was running with that. Is Bill Gallagher going to install this, or is this company in charge in complete turnkey? They're doing it.
Yeah, Bill has been in contact with him to tell him like what would work for us and whatnot. It's, you know, taking these wires and putting another box on the wall. He has a lot of technical names for it, but I don't know what they are. But he wants to take this rat's nest and clean it up. And this company they would do it. They said they would need assistance from us to help them do it, because, you know, they just need the assistance, which we would provide, because it's.
And you're talking like, it looks like a matrix back there. I mean, it is. I mean,
And I believe that's part of the quote, was not it?
it is moving.
I believe that was part of the quote, was to clean up all of that line there.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Because it is literally mind-boggling. It's worth going down there just to look at it, to say,
How is this?
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that I was pretty excited about to hear back from him. And that quote, as we discussed it, I thought it would probably be more than that.
And CoStar, back to Lisa's thing, CoStar, I mean, that means it's competitive bid, all that, we're good.
Yep.
We can skip through all that
Right,
process.
right. Otherwise, we were gonna have to get 3 quotes.
Just like the cars and all the other equipment and stuff is that. Okay.
But to have that cleaned up, and our radios have been, they're halfway updated. You know, that was approved last year. And once we get the repeater and the new base station and everything in control, I'm going to be very happy with how far we've come with the safety security facility with the new doors, locking, the radios. That's huge.
And we could probably pull a little bit of, you know, side order of Ken McCorson and Kale Ask with that kind of.
Oh, yeah, they've already been involved from the
Yes,
start.
it would have to be with those wires and stuff, because again, that was the 911 in a nutshell, so.
Yeah.
Probably that. What, any time frame on that, Warden?
We didn't talk about that.
No, we just received a quote from Bill like 3 hours ago.
No problem.
Yeah, once you're comfortable with it, put it together.
Unfortunately, I need to jump off and move on to the next meeting, but, I guess my request on putting these on the agenda was not so much that we have decisions today or anything, just that we be tracking these over the course of the next, 2, 3 prison board meetings and get a, resolution in place.
Roger
With
that.
that, thank you very much. Sorry, I'm jumping.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on the control panels, et cetera?
I'd like to say one more thing. We think that project will qualify for the PIMCC grant, so that we can't submit that till June 1st. So likely that won't happen until once we get their approval for the project.
What's the maximum that you can request at any
Um,
time?
I think that one is $20,000, so,
I thought it was some threshold.
Anything further? All right, body cams.
Talking about our body cameras, Sheriff, you could probably chime in as much as I could about these. We have a joint camera system that was bought a few years ago. To put it in the best way possible, they're terrible. They don't,
We'll just say low bid isn't the way to go on
we
a
don't,
lot
we
of
don't,
technological.
they aren't doing what we need them to do. The batteries don't stay charged long enough. I mean, the staff is changing them out consistently. They're more, we would like to see new ones for liability purposes. And we've talked to, I've gone to the CJAB meetings, talked to Carl McGee. There was a grant, how we got the last ones, and there will be another grant coming up this year. It's not a match grant. It's believed to be 100%. The only hiccup to it is if corrections is considered law enforcement to be eligible for it. Sheriff's Office is, that's how the grant happened last time.
So basically, again, at one time we were attached at the hip. Historically, the sheriff's prison board president, so we are basically still sisters, brothers, however you want to look at it. So we'll just say sheriff's office needed 8 body cams. We got 16, 8 went to the ward. And it's a lot of, I still think we can make that connection of that we're still, we bring them in, but they're still going. It's the same.
They were supposed to send us brand new, their top of the line best cameras. They were supposed to be here 4 weeks ago, and we haven't gotten it. So, Bill Gallagher told me today that he has other grants in mind that might qualify us to look for other options. So that's how we would move forward if we move forward with it. I just wanted to update everybody on that.
So, and again, it would be a combination effort between us in the jail, the sheriff's office, because A, it would probably be cheaper, but B, it's just the way to do it. And then again, one system is running, we need something downloaded, we have one system rather than 3 servers. And it just, we're not gonna go there. It's gonna be an all or nothing thing. It almost has to be, because that technology has to be shared almost daily, so. All right, any further Warden under your business, new business, or anything we've had in there as capital items?
Not for me.
All right, any announcements from the board? Next meeting date, June 27th, obviously this year, which we, again, will probably discuss some more body cam, some more med pass, and some more control room updates. Commissioner Eggleston, I think we're to your part. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
And second?
Second.
So let it be written.
Thank you, everyone.
My part usually isn't